Well, Major League Baseball comes back this week. Next week, the NBA will resume its season. So the stage is set for sports to return, even in the midst of this pandemic. Dr. Calvin Spellmon with Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics in Alabaster joins us now to talk about if he thinks this can be safe, if sports can come back and we can all be safe with the return of these events. Good afternoon, Dr. Spellmon. How you doing?
Pretty good. Good afternoon. How you doing?
So I'm doing fine. So you and I were talking in the break, and we didn't really get a chance to talk much. But what is your opinion on sports returning? Do you think this is safe? And I mean, we mean all sports, you know.
And honestly, let me preface this by saying we all still learning about this virus every day. I think sports are safe to return in certain sports and in certain aspects. So, for example, I think our either no contact or minimal contact sports I think are fine, such as golf, tennis, softball and baseball to a certain extent, and certain track and field events, for example. I think it's going to be a little more difficult with our contact and collision sports, such as football, soccer, hockey, basketball, simply because those sports, by nature, you have to interact and touch one another.
Right.
And a lot of our young people, they have the virus and are asymptomatic. So if they do have the virus and are transmitting it, and they're playing in these sports and they're passing, we may not even know. And so I think trying to come back to those sports without knowing more about the virus and kind of how to protect ourselves, I think is going to be hard.
Right, and we're already seeing cases of athletes in some of those sports you mentioned testing positive. So again, we're just trying to, I guess, do this as slowly and safely as possible. And speaking of slowly and safely, a lot of these athletes, and we're talking from the Pee-wee level all the way up to pro, probably have not been working out like they should to prepare for the return of any kind of season. So in your opinion, what is the safest, best way to start training and getting your body ready to be active again, and especially if you're doing so in these hot temperatures?
Yes, definitely. So definitely going from couch to competition, you can set yourself up for a lot of injuries. So I would advise athletes and parents and coaches to essentially approach this season as if they're starting from scratch. So you want to start with conditioning basics. You definitely want to make sure you're hydrated, and you definitely, especially with this heat, you want to definitely get acclimated to this weather for outdoor sports. You want to make sure that you're warming up properly, stretching properly, and then you want to make sure that you are gradually increasing your level of training and your level of competition. And then after you practice and work out and have games, you definitely want to do a cool down stretch. And you definitely want to give yourself enough time to rest and recover from your different workouts to give your body enough time to get back into formation before you put it through the stress again.
And Dr. Spellmon, we have about 30 seconds left. Any last bit of advice or biggest piece of advice you want to give, especially to parents of high school age kids and younger, and even college age parents, before these kids return to sports? Any bit of advice you want to give to these parents and to the athletes themselves?
Just basically just to protect themselves, do everything in their power that they can to be safe, and the more that they do, the easier it will be to transition back into sports. So making sure you're wearing a mask when applicable, social distancing when applicable, and make sure that they're really sterilizing shared equipment and minimize shared equipment, such as in locker rooms and things like that. And honestly, you know, we all want to get sports back, you know, as soon as possible, just to make sure that they're safe. And if you have any symptoms whatsoever, please be honest and upfront, and also stay home and stay away, just so we can try to get a hold on this virus.
Dr. Spellmon, thanks so much. We appreciate your time and that last bit of advice you just gave us. You guys stay safe where you are, and if you